lastly, do you think Wilder redeems himself in his loss against Fury?
Well, I think that he could, but I think right now he's so caught up in trying to get revenge that he's burning a lot of unnecessary energy mentally. And I think that what he should do is when he goes into the fight, don't go on with that I'm going to kill him attitude. Go in there with I'm going to beat him, but you got to be smart about it. Now, you can't go in there thinking I got to crush him, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do that. Because then, Tyson Fury is relaxed. He's always calm in the fight. And the calmest fighter is always the better fighter.
You rebuilt guys from the bottom. You brought Arturo back from the dead. What's important when you got a guy like Deontay is coming off of a tough loss, a dominant loss, and getting him back on top? What's important?
I mean, honestly, I think it's just really simple things. And one of the things is studying and knowing the fighter. I mean, you got to study him and watch him on the bag. On the mitts, you can't really study the fighter on the mitts. I can look good on the mitts. I'm 57. You can hold the mitts from me. I can look like Ray Robinson.
Have you seen him on the mitts?
Yeah.
How he's been looking?
Yeah. So everybody's like, oh, yeah, anybody can do that. But let's see, what is he learning when he's in the ring shadow boxing? What is he learning when he's hitting the heavy bag? What is he learning? What is he doing differently? What is he, trying to do to make the fight easier? You understand? Or to be victorious? Show that. So he can't go in there with that attitude, I'm going to kill him. He's got to be smart about this when he goes in there with Tyson Fury.
And how do you expect the fight to play out, though, buddy?
It all depends. Honestly, I don't know how much that last fight took out of Wilder.
Took out of Wilder.
If it didn't damage him, it could be an interesting fight. But he's got to go in with a different frame of mind. Like at the press conference, he's all riled up. Malik's all riled up. No, he don't need that around him right now. He needs someone that's going to keep him calm, focused, and concentrate on what he has to do to win the fight.
Because, Tyson looked the opposite, just like,
he's won the first 2 rounds already by just being like that. You understand?
And does that matter?
Yeah, it matters a whole lot, man. It matters a whole lot. All the great fighters you see, they're the ones that are most calm, most relaxed. You see everything, you do everything. But when you're tense and all that and you're trying to kill a guy, you just picture you apart.
How many people would say, like Tyson and Duran, they were intense,
Nah. They were intense when they got you hurt. Duran was very smart. A lot of people really underestimate Duran. Duran was a very smart fighter. Very tricky on the inside, Yes, he had that killer mentality, but he knew how to break you down. So did Mike. Mike knew how to break you down. Mike would tell you he's the greatest intimidator, and then he break you down.
Wilder Fury 3, what do you see in that fight? Is it any different?
I see it the same way, the same outcome. I think Wilder should have fought somebody else before Tyson Fury, just to get his confidence back. But he still has that thing in his head. And he showed it the way he was like talking about excuses here, excuses there, excuses there. When a man loses, he's got to take it, and say, I lost, and I'm going to get better, and I'm going to come back, and I'm going to destroy this dude. Then I will believe him a little bit more. But let's see what happens. Wilder's a monster, and, that right hand could hit any time. So, I think that fight is an interesting fight to fight.
Everyone's talking about like Deontay's mental, but do you think it's tough at all for Tyson when you can't improve on perfection? You already stopped the guy. This guy has everything to fight for, everything to gain. Do you think that's tough?
I think the worst mistake that trainers are doing right now with Wilder is that they're trying to teach him how to box. At his age, it's too late. You learn this shit when you're like 6 years old, 7.
Well, Tim Bradley said he should just go for broke.
No, not gonna go for broke, but at least learn a couple of tactics. You know what I'm saying? That's gonna make you a little bit better in the outside and the inside. You know what I'm saying? He's got to learn how to box a little bit backwards. So I would do a lot of drills going backwards, because that's what messed him up in the fight with Tyson Fury. You know what I'm saying? Like use the angles, move to the sides. He just goes back, straight back. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's one thing that they should learn.
So would the third fight be any different in your opinion?
I think it can be different. You can always make adjustments. It's a lot of adjustments that he could have made, but that he has to make. He has to make some adjustments because Fury put his weight on him. He came in 20 pounds heavier than the last time, and he's doing a lot of dirty stuff to Deontay. Pushing him in the face, hitting him behind the head. Head locking him. Doing all kind of stuff that Deontay didn't prepare for.
Did I ask you about Fury Wilder 3?
No, you didn't.
Okay.
I think you're going to see the same thing that happened before.
Really, in the second fight or the first fight?
The second fight.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, he has more time, but it takes so much time to become a different athlete. I can't see it happen. If Wilder...
You think he needs to be a different athlete?
Yes, he does. He needs to be a different...
What about your punch theory? Because he has that eraser. He has the best eraser, what, in boxing?
But he couldn't erase Tyson in the first fight. The man did the Undertaker on us. He went down, got up, and when you do that with somebody that can really punch, it takes your heart away. It takes your heart away.
Wow, that's kind of sad. I'm a big Wilder fan. But,
I am too.
Yeah,
but I got to keep it real on what is.
No, I hear you. So, how would you train Wilder at this point? Like, what would you, because you can't really change the way a guy is.
Right, you can't. What you have to do is you have to try to clean up some of his discipline. You know, he has to work off the jab. His 1-2-3s have to be sharp, things of that nature. You can't change everything, but you have to change a few things and make them better.
I think Wilder has a good chance of getting his belt back. I said it before. I think something was wrong with him. He didn't say nothing. He didn't come up with no excuses except for the outfit being too heavy. But I really thought something was wrong with him. Even before he got dropped, I thought something was wrong with him. He just didn't seem the same.
Do you think Deontay can he win a third fight? You know, of course, any man can get it done, but do you give him a good shot at pulling it off if they fight a third time?
I think Deontay can do whatever he wants. I think he has the ability to do it. I'm behind him 100% because I know he's done it before, 42 other times.
Can you share with us anything he would need to do that he wasn't doing?
It's not my business to say. I'm not that guy, man. I'm just a guy watching the fight. I'm not boxing Jesus and critique somebody like that. I just think that, he's get back in there, man. Don't get away from all that social media, this and that. Go get it. Put the work in and go get it.
Wilder Fury 3. Do you see that fight playing out any differently than the second fight?
Yeah, I think it will, because I just think Wilder will have to have the mentality of 3-4 rounds. It's me or you. I'm going to come out and let my hands go. And if that man's letting his hands go, he's dangerous. So yeah, I think whether it's a demolition one way or not, I can't say, but I do think that Wilder won't be coming out looking to start patient. I think he'll be coming out and it'll be a mental state of it's me or you, and he'll be letting his hands go.
What's the best a trainer like Malik could do when a guy's 35?
Malik knows his boxing. So it'll be interesting to see what they cook up.
Thanks, man. Wilder Fury 3 looks like it might be late July. What's the chances Wilder does what's necessary to make up that gap and win that fight?
I'd like to see him do that. I just don't think he's capable, because when he goes to it, he needs to get even Mark Brilliant. I think Mark Brilliant would be a great trainer if he would just listen to him. And that's the thing is that, Mark, I mean, I don't know what's going on in the camp. I don't know what goes on. I have no clue what's going on because I don't really know him that well. But as far as I can see, he really doesn't listen. He does what he wants to do. If he would just come into the gym with an open mind and listen to whoever's train him and listen to him, he probably would do very well and possibly win. But if he goes in the same mentality as he does now, and just he does what he wants to do, how he wants to do it, he's going to lose again.
Well, Bones, say he listens to everything Mark says. He's still got a little less than 5 months. Is that enough time? If he really dedicates and follows instruction, is that enough time to make those adjustments?
It's just like this, an actor. If they want to pick up an accent, they can do it within months. If somebody really wants to do something, if they really want to do something, they do it. They make your mind up and you do it, and you work on it and you get it done. So then we tell these guys here, if you really want to do something, you can do it and you will do it. But you got to really want it. If you don't really want it, then it's not going to happen.
You expect him to pull that off then, or you think he'll do just the? Think he'll do that? Listen to Mark and.
I think he fired Mark. He fired Mark. So I know Mark's not going to be the guy. I don't know who. Somebody said Floyd Mayweather. I don't think the Eagles would clash. If Wilder would put his ego to the side and listen to Floyd, yeah, he probably could do well. But I think anybody can help Wilder out because he's so athletic and talented. But he's going to be able to listen and try.
Well, what would you tell him if he came?
Well, I mean, I would just work with his feet. If he get his feet in position, it would be a 100% different fighter because he'll know how to adjust it to being in close, inside and outside. He'll be able to adjust and throw the right hand when he wants to be able to throw it.
Next month, we have the trilogy Wilder Fury 3.
just sitting back as a trainer and a fan of the sport, what are your thoughts? What are your thoughts on that fight?
Ooh, man. Oh, man. God, Jesus Christ. I'm glad they got that fight put together. I really like to see that fight pick up right where it left off at. Wilder felt like that fight shouldn't have stopped, and he could have kept going. I'd like to see that fight pick up back from there.
The trilogy is in effect. Does he get this WBC belt back?
Well, it's going to be interesting. I mean, the last fight, Fury came in with a new trainer and a new strategy, and it worked like a charm. So Wilder's definitely got some adjustments to make. He's got a new trainer, like you said. They're working on some things, and if they make the proper adjustments, he can go in there and get the W. But he's definitely going to have to make the right adjustments and the proper adjustments to get it done.
Now, I know you like social media. I see you on this, so I'm sure you've seen the clips of him and Malik Scott. What do you think of those clips, and have you seen any adjustments or improvements is the better word?
Well, I think Malik's doing a good job from what I see so far. Plus, Malik knows boxing. I mean, I had Malik in the national amateur team. I was one of the coaches, and Malik was on the team with me. And so Malik knows his way around the gym, and he knows boxing. So, you know, it looks like he's got him doing some different things, and we just got to wait and see, you know, what they put together and how it plays out in the ring.
Definitely how it plays out, but like you said, he's got him doing some different things. One of those things are tripling and doubling the hook to the body. Like I asked your pupil, Erickson Lubin, is the right game plan to chop the body down of the giant in Tyson Fury? He is 6'9".
Well, I think what Wilder has to do is to get Fury back on his heels, and not let Fury have him fighting back on his heels and backing up so much, you know. So I think Wilder is more successful when he's stepping into his jab and right hand, and if he can get Fury back on his heels, I think that would serve him well.
Fury Wilder 3. Can Wilder turn the tables the third time around?
I've seen him working with Malik as of late. And again, he got enough dog to do it in. You know, he correct a few mistakes, and yeah, you definitely can give him a strong chance in that fight, because understand he do have that one punch knockout power. You know what I mean? And so if he can find a way to set that one punch knockout power up, you know, yeah, he can definitely win the fight.
Is one camp enough to be able to implement all the things Malik's trying to teach with him?
It all depends, you know, if they're vibing good. You know, and if he is able to absorb things that Malik is showing him, and maybe correct some of the mistakes along the way, it could definitely be enough. You know, of course, you would want more time, you know, because, you know, the main thing is if he is in sync with his trainer and he's able to absorb the stuff that the man is teaching him, then yeah, you know. But other than that, yeah, more time, you know, would be warranted. Some people get it faster.
And I don't want to ask you a pick, but how do you kind of, you know, roughly expect the fight to play out? What are some things you're expecting to happen third time around?
I don't think that Deontay will be making the same mistakes as he made the first time out. But you cannot help but to love the Gypsy King also, man. You know, and then the story was compelling also. So I'm just hoping that, you know, once again, it'd be a good fight for the fans. You know, everybody been cooped up for a long time, man. So, you know, we need something positive, you know, to happen these days.
I mean, people love the first two. It kind of had that heavyweight buzz back to the sport. So, yeah, hopefully they can do it a third time.
Well, traditionally, boxing has gone as the heavyweight division has gone. You know what I mean? So, as long as they can uphold that end, then all the boxing will be fine.
He's going to give us his thoughts on Deontay Wilder versus Tyson Fury 3. October 9th is the trilogy. And I want to know, have you seen any changes in Wilder since linking with Malik Scott, former fighter?
I've seen more punching. I'm not going to say better technique, but just more punching. Let me say it the way Tyson Fury said it best. He said, I stopped one fight and gave him a concussion. Now I stopped your trainer and gave him a concussion. What can you teach him? Very, you know, that's a very good analogy. But on the flip side of that, has Wilder taken has Tyson taken the third fight serious enough? Because he was here, he was in Vegas, he's been all over the place. So camps have been, been fluctuating here and there. Can he beat Wilder? Yes, he's proven that. After the first fight, he learned from that first fight. And the second fight, he showed what he learned. He didn't need anybody new in his corner, honestly. So for this third fight, is he too overconfident? Is he not training like he should? His father's, most parents know the kid's better. And he's not really preparing for those fights the way he should. And so, that brings up red flags. As far as Wilder, he's definitely getting ready for whatever's coming down the pipe. But like I said, Tyson understands, listen, I whooped your trainer, and I whooped you. What can he teach you new to beat me? The only thing that's gonna hurt Tyson is if he doesn't take this fight serious enough to realize, hey, something might come down the pike that they worked on that might hurt you. I mean, one thing that Wilder proved, he can drop him. So he knows that. But can he drop him and keep him down? Hey, Tyson, hey, I got heart and got up and, so it's an interesting fight, and it's a fight that the fans deserve, and hopefully, October 9th it happens. It's a toss-up, because to me, honestly, it depends on what Fury does in his mindset. What's his mindset for this fight? Does he go out there and say, no, you're not going to beat me, I'll keep this thing going, or does he lackluster that night and allow Wilder to do his thing? But to me, it all depends on what Tyson does, because Tyson's the better fighter. Not the stronger fighter, but the better fighter upstairs. So it depends on what he does for this fight.
Now, can you just elaborate a little more on, because you're quoting Tyson with such enthusiasm. Do you not believe Malik can add something because he has lost to Wilder and got beat up by Tyson Fury in sparring? Or do you think that a person that wasn't a world champion can still go on to be a great coach?
No, I think any person that really has in their heart is a boxing person and they love boxing and they learn the sport, they can go on and be a great trainer. They might not have been the fighter they thought they were, but they may have learned from that, but they can be a better trainer. Now you asked me about Deontay's trainer,
Malik Scott.
Yeah, Malik is, listen, he's not teaching physically. Why ought to be a better fighter? Technically, I should say technical wise. I see the same things.
But he's showing them head movement. They're working on side to side head movement.
When you
they're working on doubling and tripling the left hook to the body.
I've seen that. Listen, that all looks good.
Feints. They're working on feints now.
Yeah, okay. But when it gets hot and heavy, if they go a certain amount of rounds and Fury's controlling the pace out of the tempo of the fight, what does Wilder do? Does he panic, go back to what he used to do, or can he stay with the game plan?
But is everyone simply just resorting to that? Because even your answers to Fury, you were like, well, is he taking it serious? Is he training? So those are our assumptions, just like, is Wilder going to resort back to the old Wilder once he gets into a real fight? Those are also assumptions. We can assume that what he's doing in the gym will translate.
Well, listen, I hope for him that whatever they're doing or what they're working on, that it works for them. Because listen, personally, I like him as a man. He speaks his mind, he tells the truth. He doesn't back away from that. I love that about him. Boxing-wise, I always felt he should got better training, and I'm not saying Mark didn't do his job, because it takes two to tango. Maybe Wilder didn't want to do all that, and maybe in his mind he said, I got this right hand, I don't need all that crap. So I can't say, because I was never there. What I'm saying is, I like him, but in the ring, he doesn't show me that he's as good as he could be. He could be better. The right hand is awesome.
So the $1 million question, will you give Malik Scott credit if Wilder wins, or will the world just say it was Wilder because he has the right hand?
Listen, you gotta listen, Malik's been in camp with him. You gotta give him credit. I can't say the dog him out and say no. You gotta give him credit because he's there. Now, if he turns around and makes Wilder a whole new fighter and better than he was before, then you gotta listen. He gets 100% credit. But it's a team effort, so they both gotta be in sync. Wilder's getting taught by him, and he's showing Wilder certain things. Wilder, if he can make those things, take them from the drawing board and then put into action, it's a beautiful thing. So I'm not gonna knock Malik Scott and say, he's not. I'm not gonna call him a great trainer because this is the first guy that really trained. You know, you got to make. I made 6 world champions, and 4 were underdogs. So I've done my job. So, but if he can take mentally and physically, if he can go out and make him really believe and win this fight, you got to give him some credit. I can't sit there and dog. I can't dog him out like that. That'd be stupid. You got to give him some credit. It's just, we'll come find out. We'll see. Can Wilder take all those things and put him into work for himself and win that belt? I mean, he's a good. Listen, he's a powerful puncher. He has his puncher's chance if nothing else. But the boxing skills and things they're working on now, if he can translate that come fight night to work for him, it's a beautiful thing for him.
Have you heard of Jared Anderson, the real big baby from Ohio?
Yeah, I was in camp with him recently. The other day.
So do you believe the rumors that he hurt or knocked out or knocked down or beat up Tyson Fury, and that's the reason the fight got pushed back?
I have no idea. You know what? There's so many things that go out nowadays with social media. I don't know. Listen, could he have done it? It's possible. We don't have no video of it, so we don't know, because they're smart. They would put video out anyway when they're sparring. I don't know. Can Jared punch? I've seen him punch, but I don't think he can punch that hard. But if he kind of a good shot, anything is likely, because he's big. He's a big guy, and his style is not to knock out. He's technical, real good technical boxer. And that's the beauty of him. So if you knock Tyson out, hey, I don't know, because I don't see the video, so I really can't say.
Well, there's a quote. PBC podcast had Deontay Wilder on. They released it today, and he said, Wilder said he was told that Tyson has been getting pieced up in sparring.
That may be. A lot. Listen, sometimes the best fighters don't always look good in the gym. I don't care if they get beat up come fight night. I'll get case in point. Somebody I don't even like to talk about, but Sergey Kovalev in the gym looked terrible. Listen, you see this guy, this fight kid. Come fight night, he showed up. And a lot of fighters do that. A lot of guys, Vanderbilt sometimes didn't look good. When we were younger, he didn't look good in camp. But come fight night, he showed up. So, Tyson maybe get beat up, because like I said, he's not really taking it from what I saw. He was the short time that I saw him in camp. When we were in the same gym together, I didn't see he was taking it serious. He's having a good time. But it's possible he can get pieced up, but time will tell. Come October 9th, we'll know.
Wilder and Fury, man, they're going to go down. What's your assessment about that fight, and what are some of the things you would advise Wilder to do in this third fight?
No, I would advise him to be himself. He can't be anybody else. He had a setback. Okay, so what? So you go and you change some things, but you don't change everything about Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder got to be who he is. And once he becomes that, then he has a great chance to become a champion.
And Coach, you believe he can set up that one knockout shot?
Of course. He has a good jab when he uses it. He just got to be confident in his jab, and that's going to open up things for the right.
And who would you give the edge to in that fight?
Right now I think he got to get the edge to Fury since he won the last fight and the way he won it. But again, it depends on Deontay's mindset. If his mindset is good like it was before, if he get that back, he's going to be held to be.